Hello all and welcome to the first Tycoon news of 2019. Running off the back of last month's episode, we have increased the amount of games covered to 13 off the back of a poll on the channel's community tab where 70% of you wanted longer news videos. Tell me in the comments if you think it works or if it doesn't. Note on the last sentence, I said we, as I have employed some help this month. Buddbudd, Unseen Shadow and Damien have helped me with the research, scripting and editing for this month's episode alongside my school exam stuff. So thank you to them. You can go and follow them in the links in the description, which I highly recommend you do as well. All the links for the stories covered, for our Discords, for Twitters, for games, and for update stories and blog posts are all linked in the description. Moving along to the first story of the day, we have gameplay that has now been released for the upcoming Rescue HQ, the Tycoon, which recently got a name change from Rescue Tycoon to that Rescue HQ, the Tycoon name that you just heard. If you've yet to hear of Rescue HQ, it is a game in which you are the owner of a tri-station headquarters in which you manage all three of the major departments, etc., like police, ambulance services, and of course the fire department. You must ensure that response times are low, employees are trained, and your finances are kept healthy, all while responding to life or death emergencies through the integrated mission system. Do you have what it takes? You will find out this coming spring. If you want to watch the full trailer, you can find it linked below. Next up, we have Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Last month, the devs of the game released the latest development video, which is available right now on their Steam page, and also should be playing in the background right now. The game is about the development of a republic, hence the name. You can create your own industrial complexes, make railways, make roads, conveyors, and a lot more, planning and building living areas for citizens to live in as well. There are also key simulation points for the economy in the game, which make it a very interesting management game in terms of having to manage your citizens, your industry, and your, what do you want to call them, citizens. What I've been told is a larger focus on the management side instead of a building side when you look at stuff like City Skylines, which is more building than management. There are, of course, infinite ways of playing this game, and we are quite interested to see what it's all about when it releases in the first quarter of 2019, should it not be delayed. This month we saw a new update and DLC from the developers of Farm Manager 2018. While the update to the base game provided the ability to mod the game and a series of performance fixes, the new DLC provided players with 13 new crops and refinements for making beers and wines. This also included new equipment, building types, and much more for the farming process of these new crops. If you enjoyed Farm Manager last year, you will sure as hell enjoy it now with a new update. I definitely got way too amped up there. If you haven't played the new DLC, the links will be below, and for £3, in my personal opinion, while it's not got much content to it, at its current price point of £3, it's not really worth missing it, I would say. Anyway. Moving along, we have a new update from the developer of Startup Freak. The update contains a new UI for the store for buying in-game objects such as furniture, given that the previous UI was a little clunky. There are now extra benefits on backlog tasks past level 10. Finally, there has also been many bug fixes to sort out the game. Sadly, the game did not see a substantial launch, and in the end, the developer is now unable to focus as much time as he would like on the game. So if you want the game, if you want to see it succeed, go ahead and buy right now. If you were thinking of buying the game at launch and didn't, recommend you do now, because it's definitely an interesting take on a common theme, I would say, is the best way to put it. Moving along to another up-and-coming game, we have Business Magnate. Magnate? I'm going to stick with Magnate. Business Magnate is a game in which you have to build offices, warehouses, and production facilities in order to design products for customers. Well, design and produce. That's what the production facilities are for, producing, not designing. From here, you can research new product types, new product designs, new production methods, and marketing advancements in order to become the ultimate business magnate. If this tickles your tycoon taste buds, then make sure to be there for the game's launch on March the 1st in only 4 weeks' time. All the links are, of course, in the description. Next up, we have a slightly different story to cover. This month, we saw the infamous Paradox Interactive buyout Introversion Software's Prison Architect. This lays the grounds for future support for the game, future DLCs, and even new games following the Architect line. While the takeover is controversial, it could breathe a new lease of life into the game and lead to other Architect-type games coming soon. If Paradox can stick to what made Prison Architect good, then maybe they can be onto a winner here. What do you think? Tell me in the description below, not in the description, in the comments. I'll tell you what I think in the description, I'm sure. Well, the links are in the description. I'm really muddling my words, to be honest. Moving swiftly along, we have Latte Stand Tycoon. Latte Stand Tycoon is about two people, Maya and Maya, trying to raise funds to restore their old family home. In order to do so, they set up a latte stand business in their local town center. And from there, they increased the business's reach to make money for this restoration. It was supposed to release on the 18th of January 2018, but there has been no information announced. The Steam page still says to be released, so we don't know what's going to happen. If there is any more information, we will get back to you on that next month or in the comments below. Hi, hello, little interruption to the show. Speaking of Latte Stand Tycoon, I got an email directly after I recorded the script that the game is meant to come out between the 25th and the 31st. There's still no solid release date, but it should be out between that range. This has been recorded on the 24th. I did get an email from them, that's how I know that, so it should be out in the next couple weeks or so is essentially the upshot. Next up, we have Startup Company, which has seen a new update this past month, including many new features in its download. Beta 20 includes new research tree to replace the old version. A new item included was a CCC, a centralized clock rate controller. This allows you to change the CPU frequency of servers depending on the amount of users there. This enables you to do some power saving techniques. So if you have a lower amount of users on in the daytime, you can clock the CPU down to save some power. Finally, there were many improvements and additions to servers and the server setup in general, with X servers being added and performance and usability improvements also being implemented into the game. Startup Company is turning out to be an extremely good game for the money and still has regular updates, even though it's been however long it has been since launch. It launched must have been about this time last year-ish, maybe a couple months till it's a year old, I'd assume. Anyway, I'd highly recommend you buy it, as it's a very high quality game that is definitely still getting a lot of good support. Moving swiftly along, we take a dive into City Game Studio. If you've yet to hear of City Game Studio, it is a game which focuses you on managing an up-and-coming set of game studios to produce the biggest and most successful games possible. It is arriving on the 21st of February with the ability to test the game right now and help the developer basically bug fix and add new features through the Discord server linked below. It brings in you an interesting take on what I would say is an infamous game concept in the last several years. And I've definitely enjoyed it myself, as you can see from the gameplay on screen. However, I do want to note that the gameplay you see on screen, the game is completely different to the gameplay you see on screen right now. The testing that's going on right now and the kind of fixing and implementation of new features that I mentioned is changing the game quite a lot, and it's turning out to be very, very good indeed. So I'd recommend you add this one to your wish list. Personal recommendation. Next up, I want to go to a slightly different segment. This is a post, kind of an early in development game. We've got no images or videos of it, but we do have a description of what it is. It was a post on the Tycoon Reddit page, in fact, and it's for a game called music record label Tycoon. The name is still a work in progress, but the game does look very promising indeed. As the protagonist, you take the ownership of your granddad's bankrupt record label business, which your dad does not approve of. The long-term objective here is pretty much hiring the right talents and managing them to ensure that your company and talents basically make you a lot of money. No comment has currently been made on when it's going to be released. Of course it hasn't. It's not been made essentially yet. It's still very early in development, but it's one to keep an eye on if you can, because the idea of a music record label tycoon is not something I've really seen done that well or anything. There was one recently which is about like Hollywood managing video and TV talents, but to be honest, in my personal opinion, it wasn't done very well. So we'll see if they can pull this one off in the up and coming year. It's here. Next up, we have an update from the thought-to-be-dead Poly universe. The developer posted an update in a discussion thread of all places, detailing that he took a substantial break over the winter, maybe 2 to 3 months or so. Having worked at the game for a while, he just basically took the break over winter. There are, however, alongside the post, many detailed features which will be coming soon. These include added detail in education, health, there'll be a new tech tree, alongside new disasters, building, and many more bonuses to come. All of this and more will be appearing through the first quarter of 2018, apparently, so we'll see how that goes in the coming weeks and months. Lastly, we check in with Assembly Required, which has received some new updates since its launch to positive reviews last month. If you don't know of Assembly Required, it is a mix of Tycoon and tower defense gameplay, in which you build dozens of unique furniture displays, all with their own ways of trapping and draining the accounts of customers. You can manage the demands and all the whims of unique customer types, allocating your employees wisely and navigating the many hazards of building a flat pack labyrinth. Somewhere in that chaos is couples fight, children scream on your employees stage a mutiny. You may consider admitting defeat. However, in the new update, just after a week after launch, they have addressed a lot of bugs, issues, which will hopefully make that whole process much easier. They've also got a little area on the main menu with some guides from YouTube videos as well, which will hopefully help people get to know the game. Anyway, that is the end of this month's Tycoon news, the first of the year. Hopefully it will set a precedent for the rest of the episodes to come. If you have any comments about today's episode, I know it was a bit different because it was much longer than the previous ones. Do tell me, positive or negative. If you have any suggestions for games to cover next month, please do post that in the comments or join our Discord server in order to stay updated with new games and essentially just to talk about all the up and coming games that may arrive. Anyway, as always, all the links are in the description and everything else you need to know. Well, that's about it. I'm running out of words essentially. Really, that's it. I've said too much. I've said everything I need to say. That's it. Thank you and goodbye.